You don't really want to be trying to jump start a bike with no clutch in fucking racing boots, excuse my language. We are going to buy a clutch cable from Kawasaki Bacon's in is it Ilford, Newbury Park, wherever it's classed as. Because I broke the clutch cable on my Z1000SX. We see where the clutch cable is snapped here, just inside this bracket here. But we need to replace this entire section here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pull this cable out to there. That will then allow us to push the cable to the slot and literally drop it from underneath. And it's like a hammer. It's gonna the cable is gonna go around. It's gonna sit like that, so it can't pull. So you need to slacken it off, move it to there, and then just drop it down into that position. So that's the cable out now, which means this bit will then just pull out. Now, I'm going to get some of this out of the way because this is the charger, first of all, for my iPhone on the quad lock. So we'll move that just out of the way there. I'm just going to quickly thread this through here. And I'm going to check around the other side. I'll put this on here for now. So let's start by stripping off the dashboard surround. Easiest thing to do with this one is just have your lock off. We've got 4 points, probably best to show you from here. You've got this on both sides, and you have this one here, I can see it, just in here, on both sides as well. So we're going to strip all 4 of these off. So just taking this final screw out here. Now, best thing to do is put the windshield in the utmost position. I also have a USB lighter or USB socket here, so we're just going to unplug that as well in the back. Then we'll take this piece out. Next thing we need to do is take this fairing off. Okay, so very simple process to take this off. We have 2 hex keys and a screwdriver is all we need. We're going to be taking this bolt off here. And on this particular side, we just have one here. Then we need to do the dirty bit, get down on the floor. We have some studs that we need to disconnect. This is pipe guard here. There we go. So that one out. We got the same underneath. Excuse my baldness. And then we have inside, we have a rivet here, and we have 2 rivets here as well. So the easiest way to do that, get the corner of the screwdriver, and probably best you get your head under there to see where they are. You push the center of the rivets in, and then you should just be able to pop the rivets out. So to show you here, this is the rivet in place. You get the corner of the screwdriver, you push the center in, which releases it. Then you can just pry it out or pull it out. When you reattach these, you push the center out, push the rivet in place, and then push the lid down until it cracks. Clicks. Clicks is the word I'm looking for. Clicks. Okay. So we've done that. We've got one more, which is going to be just here. You can usually feel it. I mean, after you've done it a few times, just me, I'm going to not be able to do it now. But, you can usually feel it. After you've done it a few times, you can just take them out straight away. You know where they are. You know how many you've got. This is all free now. 1, 2, 3, 4, done. This is free. That's free. We do have 2 more bits to do here. One is that this metal bit is attached to this by a rubber bung. So before you actually start sliding anything off, you just want to lift the bung off. Actually, it might be easier to push this off first. You have two pivots here, one here. So that's off. And then we see if we can detach the bung from here, just under, there we go. Now what you want to do here is you want to lift and then slide backwards. And that will release that. And don't forget about your indicator you need to remove, or the indicator bracket, which is this one just here. That's the side fairing off completely. So now we are going to look at where this cable runs. We can see here that it runs all the way under through this part, and it actually runs under here. So we're going to get the camera underneath so we can have a look a little bit better. Let me take this camera out. So let's look at the entrance point. The entrance point is here. It's going to come up through this and it's going to plug into here. So when we're looking down here, we're going to push that cable through, if we can. It doesn't want to move. Let's have a look why it doesn't want to move. So that cable is coming. There's a mass of wires. Okay, so that's the cable there. We can see it just here. It's the cable. We can't see it from that side. Ooh, this is going to be challenging. Is it that one here? Is it that one? It does look like it may be that one. Let's see if we can tug this. Yes. So it is this one that goes underneath between the radiator and the frame. So I think the best thing to do is unlock it from here. 2 hands would be better, but we'll try with one. Let's just pull it through. There we go. We just pull it through. We work out how to get it back in after. And you have a little area here where it hooks into or under. We can just leave it in there. We'll pass it through that, and then we just need to unbolt it from here, and then we are good to put the new one in place. This is not going to be easy to see because it's really hard to actually do work and have the camera running at the same time. But this little hole, the wire holder, I think it's going to be easier to feed the cable up from this end. So we're going to push through here. We're going to be coming up that little gap in the firewall. And I will take the camera around to show you how we did this before. And we're going to try and push all the way through. Now what we're going to do is we are going to get to just above the radiator. We're going to look to see where the cable is. And it's just a matter of feeling the cable, grabbing that hammer on the top of it. What is that? Is that another wire? Oh, that's the actual cable I want. Okay, so we're going to grab that wire like that. Let me bring the camera around so you can see. So what we've done, we've gone through here. We've come up through this part of the firewall here, and we're actually inside here. We are grabbing the cable inside here and we're pulling it out. So this is the cable now that I've pulled out, you see. So we're going to feed that through now. Feeding it through. Now what we'll do, we'll go to the other side. We can see the cable is down there. I'll turn the bike, which is probably easy if I don't turn it full lock. We can see the cable is here. What we want to do is we want to pull that up between, oh you can't see, sorry. We want to pull this cable. See, I fed it through a bit too much, because what we want to do, you can just see, we want to pull this cable up between the forks, like this, up here, and then we will slot the cable under here, and we are pretty much in position. So we make sure we've got the cable at the back there, still hanging out, got loads of room. We're going to move this and we're going to slot this in place. I'll bring the camera around here so you can see. So now we need to thread this part of the cable back into here. Now we can pretty much do this without looking. We know we need to come at this angle, and we know we can just slot into the hole, which we have here, up to there, and then the cable can come through. But before we do that, let's take it out again. We need to feed through here. Okay, here is a line. You probably can't see it. Let me move you around just a bit. Right, what we're going to be looking at is here is a line where it goes in. Here is a line, and here is a line. So we're going to push this in a little bit first of all. And then when we get to about there, we're going to line all of these up, which would mean that the cable should be able to just go through to those. We can close that up. We need a bit more slack on this cable. It's about lined. Okay, cable in all the way. That pushes into there. This turns round. Let's see if we've got enough space now to do this. Let's get under and have a look. Okay, that's where it needs to go in. And that's in. There we go. Loads of play on that because it's not connected. But we'll come back to that. Okay, so 12 mil. Just need to undo this. Crack that one. Now this one's going to come off completely, and then we should just be able to pull this through. So that's the old cable out. We'll put this back on the top there. So now we're going to need to drop that down, because what we want to do is we want to come through the hole underneath so the cable goes in. We want to pull the slack back as much as possible. Leave that in a bit more. It needs to be on this side. So we can put the wire in, then we try and push. We try and push the threaded section through the hole. Goes all the way in. We'll just get that nut. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to get the nut on the thread. Okay, we'll push it all the way through for now. And now we have this section. The hammer needs to go in here and the cable will come out there. So we're going to do opposite that we did before. Expose the cable. Push the threaded section in. Bit fiddly. So we need to put this whole first section into there. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to drive it at an angle. Or maybe we will do it like this, is probably easier. Never easy, but we'll get there. There we go. Right, so now that's in place. We can put the rubber back on there. The rubber's up to there. We got loads of play. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it from here. All right, we're going to loosen that off and we're going to start feeding this rod back through. Still got a little bit of play, but we can adjust that at the top. We're going to come back and tighten it up in a minute. Still got a little bit of play there, so we need to pull the cable from the top. It shouldn't be too far. Now we can adjust here. So remember the rule: if you can fit £2 coins in there, it's too big. If you can't fit £1 coin in there, it's too slow. It's too narrow. So this is where we're adjusting it. We're going to adjust it to about there, and that is far too much. So we're going to start turning this out. Now, at this stage, it's going to be very stiff. But we want to start unwinding it. Let's just get this cable out of the way first of all. We'll start unwinding it and then again checking. You don't really need a spanner for this bit, but if you do find it a bit stiff and it starts getting caught, use this part of the spanner, get yourself just in there and just alleviate by pushing that out. So you can do that with one hand and you can be turning it with the other. Now these cables are pre-lubed. If you buy the originals from Kawasaki, they are pre-lubed. We are almost there. That is about the right amount of play. And I'm locking that in that position there. I'm quite happy with that, because as I'm pulling now, it's moving. Now the easiest way to check this is with the engine. If I find my keys, oh, we need to keep that one. I'll grab that in a minute. So in neutral, we're going to start the bike. Holding the front brake just in case, popping it into first. And then we're going to gradually release the clutch to see when it wants to move. I'm going to hold the brake though. Just there, which for me is perfect. So we'll kill the engine, stick that back in neutral, and that is pretty much done. We've got a little bit of play there, but that's exactly what I need. I don't need any more than that. If I wanted to, I could just turn it around a bit more with a click, but I think there, as I had it before, I'm going to leave it there. That's where I want it. And that is how we change the cable on the clutch. If you need to lube the cable, I would suggest before you fit the cable, you hold it up. You get the cable where it's exposed, some WD-40 and just move it up and down a little bit. Hang it kind of vertically, and then at some point leave it there, come back every 10 minutes, do it again. Then after half an hour, you would have lubed all the way down inside that cable. And that's pretty much it. If this helped you at all, and you have broken your clutch cable, hopefully you've managed to get home okay. But if it helped you, please leave us a like and maybe even subscribe. I will be doing a lot of how-to videos. I've done clutch adjustment, I've done gear lever adjustment, I've done new clutch cable now, I've done headlight fits, fitting the bi-LED headlights. And there's going to be a lot more coming up in terms of what I'm doing. I'm changing, I might do some valve balancing at some point. I've just hit 9,000 miles, so I'll be doing spark plugs, air filter and oil change next, so stay tuned for that. And anyway, take care of yourself and ride safe, and I'll speak to you later on.